So many people have asked me, what are the components of a Chinese astrology or a BaZi chart looks like? What are the sections inside the chart? Now, if you are a total beginner, this is your first time hearing about Chinese astrology, you probably would be surprised that Chinese astrology has quite an extensive sections of a chart. In fact, it takes into consideration your year, month, day, and hour of birth to plot a chart. Now, it looks very different than a Western astrology chart or a Vedic astrology chart. In fact, this here is a typical Chinese astrology or a BaZi chart. Okay, now if you want to get your chart, just get the chart, not interpret the old chart yet. You can see the link that is either on your screen right now or in the comment section. You go there and then you key your date and time of birth and we'll plot a chart like this. Okay, so my purpose of this video here is to tell you what each components inside the chart, the main components, okay, what the main components are, what is the main purpose of that component, and then in future videos we will explain how you can actually read it. Okay, so this is just get to know the what is ever in the chart, right? Now, first things first. Now let's have a look at the chart here first. Okay, so generally you will see a lot of information for a beginner. You probably think, it's too complicated. I just want to look at this thing called the natal chart and the luck pillars. Okay, now I'm going to show you in close up. So this is how it looks like. So the natal chart, this is your BaZi. BaZi means 8 characters, your year of birth, month of birth, day of birth, and hour of birth. So I'm going to start at this side and show you. Okay, year of birth, month of birth, day of birth, hour of birth, and it's 8 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's why this is called the BaZi or 8 character astrology system. Now, these characters means Chinese characters. Each of this represents an element as well as a so-called position of the earth around the sun when the time of your birth. So it's actually astrology, but they group it together in terms of sections instead of saying this is the exact degree of the sun and where the exact degree of Jupiter is. So it's not that form of astrology. That technique of looking at the sun, the Jupiter, Saturn, and all the other planets, that is called 测经星. It's a different astrology in Chinese astrology. This form here looks more like the constellations and the 5 moving planets, which is the 5 elements. So instead of trying to pinpoint the degrees, which is the other form of astrology, this is looking at components, the elements, the strength of certain elements at the different periods of time. So this is the year animal sign, which is like here it means the year of the rooster, the month of the rooster, which is person is born, the day of the monkey, and the hour of the snake. So it's a radiance, it's a big group of energy at that time born. What's the vibrational energy and what's the outcome? So what you see down here is called the luck pillars. Every 10 years is progressively the elements, the original elements of your birth chart, the natal chart will sort of decrease, abruptly interacted, disappear, or transform to a different element. That's where we read the interaction every 10 years. Now, the whole idea of here is not to predict what certain events can happen as a result, as a clash or an opposition or something happen in the chart. We're not supposed to do that. That form of predictive astrology, it's very much into what planet and what position. Now, this form of astrology looks at the big picture to see what are the vibrational energies that affect the person and what choices you can make during that sort of energy cycle so that you could get the best outcome in certain aspects of your life. Now, of course, you can go about life without looking at the astrology chart. That's fine too. That means you don't really know the energy, or it can be a trial and error. And so you'll be going whatever inclination you have at that time. But if you see the chart, you understand the components and you make certain decisions based on the period of your life and certain aspects of your life, then you get to sort of maximize or get the best of certain aspects of your life. Now, how do we look at the aspects? That's when we look at this component here. Now, right here, this component, which is the lower section of your astrology chart, when you print it out, you will see 10 profiles here. Okay, now the 10 profiles basically are the 10 stars. In Chinese term, it's called the 10 stars. But instead of calling them stars, I just give them the Western terminology closest to the nature of the star, So you could understand the influence in your chart and how it changes in a period of time. So now when we understand these components, when we study them, of course, so for a beginner like you like, what does it mean? Well, we haven't come to telling what it means yet. This is just what each component represents. And then there'll be a host of other videos, of course, going deep down to explaining what does it mean. That takes time, okay? Relax. So each one of these can represent a certain quality, attribute, ability, skill set, opportunities, or problems. So when we look at the percentage, then we decide, okay, at this period of time, when can we make certain types of decisions to be better? Now listen, this is a guide. This is about predicting the future, whereas people who expect that, oh, astrology is supposed to predict the future, a lot of them get disappointed because you can't predict exactly what can happen. You can guesstimate it based on energy and what activities you do, but the power of free will, you choose to do certain things and not do certain things at a period of time. So you cannot predict that. You can only guide someone and say, hey, this is one of the ways you can maximize this and get the best possible income, get the job that you want, get connected with the person of your dreams, for example, at what periods of time. So that's the element, the whole idea of understanding the 10 stars, okay? This gives you a bigger picture in terms of elements of how a person operates. So if you want to work in a team, for example, understanding how the dynamics between your team members and you, the strengths and weaknesses, the likes and dislikes, how they operate in the team or in the family dynamics, gives you a much better way to sort of influence and harmonize with other people so you get the job done, okay? If you want to live together with your family, this will be a great way to understand how each person operates. Now, not to say that you become a doormat and, please everybody. No, is you understand how to best influence, guide, or teach maybe other people how to behave or how you can behave better so they can influence others. Like your kids, for example, how to work best with them. This here tells you those profiles, that understanding, and so that you can live a better life. So really, a BaZi chart, it's all about understanding life itself and how to actually become a winner, how to mitigate certain pitfalls, and how to basically avoid, being, went into trouble in certain periods of time, becoming more aware and living a conscious life, okay? So there's a lot to study in astrology, and hopefully in the next couple of videos here, I can give you the basics into understanding what a BaZi chart is. I know you probably want to know what's the meaning of a direct resource, what's the meaning of this star, that star, and all this stuff. Slowly, okay, step by step. Everything you want to know about your life and how you can be a winner and how you can actually avoid pitfalls and improve your health, improve your relationship connections. It's all in the interaction. And again, understand this one final point I want to say here. This does not predict your future, okay? Whatever that is inside here is for you to live your best life. This is information so that you know, okay, if I do this, I won't be so happy. If I do that, I can actually achieve my happiness, achieve the success that I want. So it's like an operation manual, okay? But the misconception here is, oh, this predicts my future, I'm going to be poor forever. No, nobody says that, okay? This is how you can live a better life, okay?
Check inside the description for the link.